3 nights as a delivery driver I'll never forget. Most people think the biggest danger of being a pizza delivery driver is a bad tip or getting a flat tire in the rain. They're wrong. The real danger isn't the road. It's who or what is waiting for you at the end of it. I spent my high school years delivering pizzas, and while I walked away with some extra cash, I also walked away with memories that still keep me awake. When the clock strikes midnight, the first night that changed me happened right as we were closing. I was alone at the counter, the smell of grease and floor cleaner filling the air, when the phone rang. Silence. I hung up. A minute later, it rang again. This time, a voice like dry leaves scraping on a tombstone whispered from the other end. It was an old woman, her voice weak and unnervingly cold, requesting a regular pie. I was exhausted and ready to go home, but my boss insisted it was the last run of the night. I took the address 7 miles away on the quiet, decaying side of town. When I arrived, the house was a dark, single-story shadow against an empty block. No lights, no sound. I rang the bell twice, but the house remained a tomb. Just as I was about to leave, I caught a movement in the window. An elderly woman, easily in her late 70s, was standing there, staring at me with a blank, hollow expression. I yelled through the glass that I had her pizza. She didn't move. I yelled louder. Suddenly, her face split into a smile, not a kind, grandmotherly smile, but a wide, jagged grin that sent a jolt of pure ice down my spine. Terrified, I retreated to my car. I sat in the driver's seat, hands shaking as I texted my boss. But when I glanced to my right, my heart nearly stopped. She was standing right outside my passenger window, inches from the glass, wearing that same haunting, predatory stare. I didn't wait for the money. I floored it, and I never looked back. Years later, I moved upstate to the country, thinking the fresh air would do me good. I was wrong again. Delivery runs out there meant long, lonely drives through dense forests and dirt roads. Around 7 p.m., I was sent to a remote lake house, a rotting wooden cottage buried in overgrown grass that reached my knees. When I knocked, I heard heavy footsteps stop right behind the door. I felt a pair of eyes watching me through the peephole. A low, gravelly voice told me to bring the pizza out back. Every instinct told me to run, but I feared my boss's temper more than the shadows. I walked around the house to a small patio where a figure sat in a chair, facing away from me. They didn't move an inch when I spoke. Then, from the corner of the house, a man's head popped out. He was wearing a crazed, manic smile. "Come over here," he hissed. "I want to show you something." I didn't stay to find out what. I bolted through the tall grass, hopped into my 1999 Camry, and drove until I found a police officer. They later told me that house had been abandoned for years. To this day, I still wonder who or what was sitting in that patio chair, waiting for me to get closer. But the most terrifying night happened in the Poconos. It was dark, the kind of thick, soul-crushing fog that swallows your headlights. Suddenly, a figure jumped from the bushes. There was a sickening thump-thump as my car hit them. I panicked. I got out and saw a man in a black hoodie lying motionless by my tire. Then a scream pierced the woods to my left, a woman crying for help. In a moment of sheer, stupid adrenaline, I ran toward the woods to help her, leaving the man behind. But as I reached the tree line, the screaming stopped. Total silence. I saw a figure hiding behind a tree watching me. Realizing it was a trap, I sprinted back to my car. The man I had hit was gone. There was no body, no blood, nothing. My heart racing, I drove to my destination just to feel some sense of normalcy. I delivered the pizza to a middle-aged woman, but as she paid, her eyes went wide, focusing on something behind me. "They let you guys have delivery partners now?" she asked. My blood turned to ice. "What do you mean?" I stammered. She pointed. "There's someone sitting in your back seat." I looked back and saw a shadow ducking down. I called the cops from her house, but by the time they arrived, the stranger was gone. The only thing they found was a blood-stained knife left on my floorboards. I quit that job a few days later. I realized that when you're delivering pizza in the middle of the night, you aren't just bringing food. You're opening a door to the dark, and sometimes you don't know who's trying to walk through it with you.